Hello everyone, welcome back again here to Manchester United Info Updates. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comments for more daily updates and transfer news. Let's get started. Victor Osimhen's future has become one of the most talked about topics in football, with his recent performance and growing stature ensuring that the 26-year-old Nigerian striker is in high demand. Osimhen's current situation at Galatasaray, where he has been on loan, has added an intriguing layer to an already complex transfer saga. Having arrived at the Turkish club last summer, Osimhen's stay was initially seen as a temporary move due to complications in agreeing a transfer to other clubs. However, with an impressive run of form that has seen him score 26 goals in 30 appearances this season, his status as one of Europe's most coveted strikers is becoming undeniable. Galatasaray, though hopeful of keeping Osimhen, is now awaiting the player's decision about his future. The club's vice president, Abdullah Kavukcu, revealed that Osimhen will inform them of his plans in April. While there has been considerable talk about Osimhen's departure since January, with a potential exit looming large, his decision will have far-reaching consequences for the future of the club and for several major European teams that are eyeing his signature. The growing uncertainty surrounding Osimhen's next move has created a buzz in the footballing world, with top clubs already expressing interest. Osimhen's loan to Galatasaray came about due to a series of complications in his dealings with Serie A side Napoli. Despite being contracted to the Italian club until 2026, his time at Napoli appeared to be on the verge of ending last summer. Chelsea had been rumored as a potential destination for the talented forward, but the two clubs couldn't come to an agreement. The deal never materialized, and Osimhen remained with Napoli for the time being. However, this did not mark the end of his time in Italy, as Napoli's handling of the forward's future became even more difficult after Antonio Conte signed Romelu Lukaku, another star forward, thereby putting Osimhen's position at the club in jeopardy. With Napoli's pursuit of Lukaku, Osimhen's future appeared increasingly uncertain. His role at the club seemed undermined, and Napoli's hierarchy appeared willing to let him go. This sparked the move to Galatasaray, where Osimhen was able to revitalize his career on loan. Despite the rocky start to his campaign, he has flourished in Turkey, demonstrating the same skill and flair that he exhibited during his time in Italy. His impressive performances in front of goal have undoubtedly earned him the reputation as one of Europe's premier strikers. It is clear that, regardless of his current situation at Galatasaray, Osimhen's future is one that is closely tied to the interests of several of the world's biggest football clubs. The statement from Kavukcu, revealing that the world's top 5 clubs are already interested in Osimhen, only heightens the stakes of his impending decision. The likes of Chelsea, Manchester United, and other elite European clubs are expected to be at the forefront of the race for the striker's services. These clubs, in need of strengthening their attacking options, see Osimhen as a viable candidate to add depth and quality to their squads. While Galatasaray is optimistic about the possibility of Osimhen extending his stay, the likelihood of the player staying at the club long-term seems slim. According to Kavukcu, the player's arrival at Galatasaray was seen as a dream come true, but the player's ambitions are now likely to take him back to one of Europe's elite leagues. This is a sentiment echoed by several football pundits and analysts who believe that Osimhen's next move will be to a club that can offer him regular exposure to top-tier competitions like the UEFA Champions League. Ultimately, Osimhen's decision will depend on several factors, including the financial offers on the table, the sporting projects of interested clubs, and, crucially, his own ambitions as a player. His decision will not only determine his future, but could also have a significant impact on the transfer market. As the clock ticks down to April, when Osimhen has promised to announce his decision, the tension around his future is sure to continue growing. Whatever his choice may be, Osimhen's next chapter promises to be one of the most exciting in the football world. Ruben Amorim's concerns over Aiden Heaven's injury after Manchester United's win against Leicester City. Manchester United's 3-0 victory away at Leicester City in the Premier League on Sunday, March 16, 2025, was a much-needed result for the Red Devils. However, it was overshadowed by a concerning injury to young defender Aiden Heaven, who was forced to leave the pitch on a stretcher early in the second half. The injury came at a time when Manchester United was already struggling with a shortage of defenders, making the situation even more concerning. Head coach Ruben Amorim's admission that the club would need to play a waiting game regarding Heaven's injury adds to the uncertainty surrounding the severity of the problem. The injury incident. The incident occurred just minutes into the second half when Aiden Heaven, a promising teenage center-back, went down after attempting to shepherd the ball out of play. Heaven seemed to be in visible discomfort, and it was quickly clear that he was unable to continue. He was swiftly stretchered off the pitch, leaving fans and teammates alike anxiously waiting for updates on his condition. With Manchester United already having a depleted defense, this injury was another blow to their defensive options. United's defensive crisis. Manchester United's defensive problems have been a theme throughout the 2024 to 2025 season. Heading into the Leicester City match, United was already without several key defensive players. Lisandro Martinez, who has been a mainstay in United's defense since his arrival from Ajax, has been sidelined for months after undergoing ACL surgery in February. His absence has forced manager Ruben Amorim to search for alternatives and make do with the limited options available. In addition to Martinez, Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans were also unavailable for selection against Leicester City. Maguire, the club captain, has been a subject of scrutiny throughout the season due to inconsistent performances, but his absence, along with the veteran presence of Johnny Evans, left United particularly thin at the back. Additionally, Lenny Yoro, another promising central defender, was also unavailable due to injury, further compounding the issues for Amorim and United. The absence of these senior players left Matthijs de Ligt and Victor Lindelof as the only remaining specialist center-backs available for selection. The situation was further exacerbated when Heaven, the young talent, was injured during the Leicester City match, reducing United's defensive options even further. In the absence of a proper defensive setup, Noussair Mazraoui, typically a right-back, was forced to fill in as part of a makeshift back three for the final 40 minutes of the match. The adjustment to a more defensive formation was essential to seeing the match out, but it highlighted just how dire the situation had become for Manchester United. Ruben Amorim's waiting game. In the aftermath of the game, Ruben Amorim spoke to the media about Aiden Heaven's injury, stating that the club would have to wait and see the full extent of the problem. Amorim admitted that it was still too early to make any definitive statements about Heaven's condition, but the club's head coach did not offer much optimism either. "We'll have to play a waiting game here," Amorim said, his tone reflecting a sense of uncertainty and concern. "Aiden is a talented player, and he's very important to us. But we need to be patient. We don't yet know how bad the injury is, so we just have to hope for the best." The lack of clarity around Heaven's injury is especially concerning given the current state of United's defense. The club is already without several key defenders and is unlikely to make any significant signings during the middle of the season, meaning they will have to rely on their current squad to get through a challenging period. Heaven's injury, while not yet confirmed, could potentially leave the club in even greater need of reinforcements, or at the very least could force United to field makeshift defensive formations for the foreseeable future. A critical period for Manchester United. For Manchester United, Heaven's injury comes at a particularly precarious time in the season. The Red Devils are currently battling to secure a top-4 finish in the Premier League and qualify for next season's Champions League. They are also still alive in domestic cup competitions, making the depth of their squad even more critical as they aim to compete on multiple fronts. With injuries mounting at the back, it could prove challenging for Amorim's side to maintain consistency and solidify their defense as they move into the business end of the campaign.